goes all the way back to preschool. I went to a preschool in a church and I absolutely hated it. I cried every day for like 3 months. Actually, before that, I went to a different preschool that I cried every day at, and my mom switched me from that because she thought I was crying because I hated the school, and I don't even remember that. But I remember at the preschool in the church, I would cling to my mom, and they would literally have to pull me off of her to go. I hated leaving her, and I just hated the thought of going to school. I wasn't even happy when I was there. I don't think I wanted to be a teacher then. I remember when I was little, I wanted to be a ballerina or a dance teacher because I have danced since I was 2, so I didn't want to be a school teacher. My first good school memory would probably be in 1st grade. I remember kindergarten and I liked it and I loved my teacher, but for some reason 1st grade I loved it even more. I remember my first memory of school is in 1st grade we had to make these scrolls. So we would have grid paper and we started at 1 and then we'd have to write our numbers all the way to 100 and we pasted them on a paper towel roll, so when you unrolled it you had all the numbers, and it was a competition to see who could get the farthest every week. So that's my first school memory. I really enjoyed that. I don't really know why, but that sticks out in my head as a good school memory. I think elementary school is definitely when I first knew I wanted to be a teacher. My K through 5 school experience was awesome. Every single teacher I had was absolutely amazing. I remember them all to this day and all the good things they did. I don't remember exactly what grade I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but around the 2nd or 3rd grade, I definitely knew. I had a school set up in my basement. I had a whiteboard and I had chairs and tables set up, and I would play imaginary school. And I recently had just found stuff while cleaning out my basement of me definitely in 3rd grade, because I would pretend I was my teacher and I would write Miss Winan, because that was my teacher's name, on all the stuff, and I would have class lists of my class in 3rd grade. So I think definitely by 3rd grade I knew I wanted to be a teacher, and I think that's because my 2nd and 3rd grade teachers are definitely my favorite teachers still to this day. And when you have a good experience in school, I think it helps the student like school more, and I definitely had such a good experience that I was I want to be a teacher. This is what I want to do when I'm older. My middle school and high school education was good too. It wasn't amazing like my K through 5 was, but I definitely didn't have a bad experience. Middle school, when I went from 5th grade to 6th grade, I actually loved middle school. 6th grade was awesome, and I still wanted to be a teacher. I'm pretty sure even in 6th grade I probably still played teacher in my basement, which is probably embarrassing, but yeah, I loved school still, and I never really had a point in middle school where I hated school. And in high school too, I had a really good experience. Obviously, there's bad teachers that you're gonna have. You can't have good teachers for 12 years straight, but there was nothing that made me want to say, no, I'm never gonna be a teacher. I don't want to do this. I think the biggest influences on me wanting to be a teacher is definitely my teachers. My 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade teachers are still my favorite to this day, like I said before, and without them, I don't think I would want to be a teacher. Especially my 2nd grade teacher. When I was a senior in high school, I took a class called Child Development, and I actually had the opportunity as a still high school student to go into a classroom. I would leave high school early and go back to my elementary school with my 2nd grade teacher, every day from like March to June, and I would be like a helper or aide in the classroom, and I would help the kids. I'd read stories, I would answer questions, and being back with my second grade teacher, she just made the experience so awesome, and still to this day, after all the classrooms I've been in, second grade is still my favorite, and I feel like it's because of her. Definitely my aunt also influenced me to want to be a teacher. She's a teacher in Patterson, and hearing her stories, some of them have scared my family members and have scared me, but it still hasn't deterred me from wanting to be a teacher, because her stories of how students come back when they're graduated high school and tell her how she's influenced their lives and how she's made them want to be a better person, made them want to go on to high school and college, definitely because Patterson is a city, and not everyone goes to college, and not everyone is lucky enough to be able to have that experience. But they come back and tell her that without her they wouldn't be able to do it, and that's something I want to do, is to be able to spend my life changing kids' lives. So that definitely influenced me too. Some of my goals I have as a teacher, I definitely want to be an elementary school teacher. That's what I'm going to school for. I am majoring in psychology and getting my teacher certification in elementary education. And my ultimate goal is to be a kindergarten, first, or second grade teacher, but I know that's not always possible, so I would take whatever I could get. And I want to be in a school system that I like, where I enjoy working with other teachers. I would like to get a job right out of college. I know that's not always possible, so some short-term goals are to maybe substitute for a little bit and take maternity leaves, and even try out some different school districts, because I do know a lot of teachers that they love teaching, but their school district just doesn't fit with them. Either their principal or people in the school, they don't mesh well. And since I love teaching, I want to be happy in teaching as my career, and I don't want to settle for something that I'm miserable going every day. So those are some goals that I have for myself as being a teacher: to be happy, to be in a classroom I love, to be in a school district I love, and to enjoy as my career for the rest of my life. Some aspirations I have as a teacher: I hope to be someone that is a positive influence and a positive role model for my students. I hope to maybe change a student's life, even in the smallest way, to help my students. I aspire to have a classroom built on respect. I feel like classrooms that are built on respect are classrooms that run smoothly. If I don't respect my students aren't going to respect me. I want my students to learn. I think that's number one, but not just educational things. I want them to learn how to become a better person, to be sociable, to be able to take what they learn in the classroom outside into the real world, even as young as kindergarten or first grade. I want to have a diverse classroom. I want to use new technology. I want to use everything that's available to me to make my classroom engaging and fun and just different than the normal classroom, and in a good way.